Welcome to theblackteacher.com. Let's take a quick tour of Schoology, our virtual learning environment, so that you can get started in your class. The majority of your learning experience will be within Schoology, so it's important you become familiar with the online educational platform. First, let's log into Schoology. Right here in our top right-hand corner, we have our shortcut icon to Google Chrome browser. I also have one on my task pane at the bottom. I'm just going to click on that. Now that we're in Google, we're going to go up to the address bar, the URL, the Universal Resource Locator, and type in www.schoology.com. We are now at the Schoology website. This is their home page. We do not have to sign up as we already have an account, but now it is time to log in. So we're going to go right here to where it says log in, and let's click on that link. We are in Schoology. It automatically logged me in because I've done this so often that it took my most previous login. You may have had to go to a command box, type in your Gmail account, type in your password. And remember your password protocol, it was the house address and your pet's name. But now that we're in Schoology, you have to remember that you're not in the course itself. You're not in the class yet. You're in the general learning environment. To get to the actual course, you have to leave recent activity, which just lends towards our itinerary, and go to where it says Course Dashboard. When you click on Course Dashboard, you see all the courses, all the lessons you've signed up for. Additionally, you could go to this link on the task pane up above and also find your course. The only course we have right now is Racism 101, Defining People, the free demo. So let's go there. Once you're in your course, you now have access to all of the information I want to share via theblackteacher.com in Schoology. Let's again become familiar with these tabs. On our column font to the left, we have materials. This is all the information I need you to have. We have our updates. Our updates are step-by-step itineraries that speak to exactly what I need you to get done for the day. So this says AP Racism, the essential question, which is the thing I need you to know by the end of the week. Why do we define people by skin color? When we're doing this is week 2, so we're defining race. Week 1 will always be mindset. If you haven't signed up for our mindset course, I highly recommend you do so. So for week 2, day 1, here's the itinerary. First, the big idea is the origins of race. We want to start off explaining to you why race even exists and how long it's existed for. And we have a content goal. Students will know the origins of race, what craniometry is, the science of race, and some of the problems of race, and also slavery. In addition, we'll have a language goal. Students will know the definition of race, religion, craniometry, and abolitionists. There's a social goal. Students will play guess what race he or she is. That's to engage you. You will create some similes, a mnemonic device, as well as reflect on this learning experience. So for engagement, we always like to start with a time travel. A time travel is an assignment in which you predict what it is you're going to learn. You're also going to explain why you think it may be important to learn such. And then at the end of the week, hopefully your prediction matches up to what you actually experienced. Guess what race he is or she is? That's just my attempt to engage you within the conversation of whatever it is we're doing that's important. In this case, we're discussing race. So therefore, I want to start you off with this, how nebulous this idea of race actually is. Then we'll discuss the origins of race. That's the PowerPoint, also the podcast. Sometimes I'll have a vlog for you. And then there'll also be a blog, some reading that you can do. Then there's some individual assignments. The first two individual assignments are BellWorks. I'll show you what they look like. Some collaborative work. I'll always have you do some things by yourself, and then I'll have you do some collaborative work where you'll share it with your family, or you'll share it with some other students. You'll share what you're learning with the rest of the world. And then there's some reflection time. You need to think about what it is you just experienced it, and why it has value, if it has value. So that's day one. Day two is quite similar. There's the big idea, the content, language, and social goals. We should always start with the review. You should review what it is you already know before you start to delve into new information. The day two is your read-along day. That's when I'll have you read some addendum articles and find out what others have to say about the topic we're learning. And then, of course, you can always finish up your collaborative work. Mnemonic devices are devices that help you remember things. And then, of course, we talked about the infographic. It's time for you to start archiving what it is you know. And then again, I always want you to reflect upon the learning that you've experienced. Day three again reminds you of your content, language, and social goals. You should review again the things you've already done. And then now we get into some visual learning. That's what the Edpuzzle is for. These are some videos that should help further the understanding of your lesson for that week. And collaboratively, you should share what you know about your videos with others. And again, there's always reflection. Day four, we're trying to summarize what it is we've learned up until this point. And that's why you see the review. Make sure you're finishing whatever it is we've started. Again, you're on your own pace. Individual, this is when you get into your big project. There's always one big project that I need you to do. And then finally, some collaborative work. Review the information we've had. We do what is called a Kahoot review. It's a game. There's a specific way I have you play the game so that you can play it by yourself, but normally you play it with others. But you'll play the game to help review some of the more important information that we've taught. And then finally, again, you should reflect. Day 5, of course, that's assessment day. That's the day we want you to take the quiz. So that's how a typical week will go. All of our lessons are 1 week. You'll take them one at a time, and you can take them as many times as you want to get the grade that you want, or take as long as you need. But that's the typical way a week works in theblackteacher.com. Let's go back up towards the top. I want to remind you that once you've done an assignment or turned it in, there's a grade icon here that allows you to see your grades. Your employability, that's the reflection piece that we were discussing. Your final, that's the actual test you'll take at the end of the week. And then you have some major grades and some minor grades. Your major grades are your projects. Your minor grades are your BellWorks, your read-alongs, as well as your Edpuzzles. So let's take a look to see what that actually looks like. If you'll go back to your materials section, the first thing you'll notice is there's a resources folder. This is where I'm going to send you information about the course that you're taking, more specifically the lesson, and then there's the actual lesson plan. As a teacher, this is what I would turn into others, explaining what it is I want you to get from this week's lesson. So there's full transparency here. I want you to know exactly what it is you should be learning and why. We'll use our back arrow. And then we go into the actual weekly lesson. Within the weekly lesson folder, this red weekly lesson folder, we have 9 other folders. This first folder, the pink folder, will always have your documentation. In addition to a PowerPoint, you should find your podcast as well as a vlog here. Set our back arrow. In your engagement folder, this is where you'll have your engagement exercise. This should say the race game. I don't have it in here yet. I will have it there before you take this particular course. BellWorks are day-to-day activity sheets that really focus on the most important aspects of the PowerPoint, the things I need you to remember. All the answers to these BellWorks assignments will be found in your PowerPoint, in the vlog, in your podcast. You can find your answers there. Also, when you see a puzzle piece, that means it's a worksheet. Just by finishing the worksheet, it's automatically submitted. And you can do these as many times as you like. Edpuzzles, again, that's our visual learning. You will see a video. While watching the video, questions will be asked of you, and then you will come back and you will have to answer a few more questions about the videos that you've seen. Read-alongs are similar to our Edpuzzles. Instead of visual learning, this is written learning. You have to read, and while you're reading, there's some questions I'd like you to answer that come straight from the text that you'll be reading about. The links take you to the articles, and these are just the questions. They are similar to they look similar to your BellWorks, but they're just a little bit different. They're fill in the blanks. Then you have your projects. I'll always have you make an infographic. I'll always have you create a simile. I'll always have you create a mnemonic device to help you remember a particular aspect of what you're learning. But there'll be a fourth project in there. They'll be tangible to a higher level of thinking in regards to the lesson that you're learning. Finally, there's a quiz. It looks similar to your BellWorks and your read-alongs and your fill in the blanks, but it's worth a lot more. It's a little bit tougher, and there will be some short answer questions there. Finally, there's the reflection piece. Within this reflection, I would recommend you do a little every day, maybe answer 2 questions on this. Every assignment I give you is continual. That is, you can do some of the assignments, stop, come back, and finish the assignment. You don't have to do it all in one sitting. Finally, if there's extra information I need you to have, extra articles I think you might be interested in reading, I will put that in your addendum resources. That's what this folder is for. So this is Schoology. This is the place we will do the majority of our learning. I really need you to become comfortable in this environment. If you go off to college, most institutions of higher learning use some type of virtual learning environment like Schoology. So becoming comfortable with this will do you well in the future. It's been my pleasure getting you ready for your first BlackTeacher.com class. Can't wait to have you sign up. Let's have fun and let's get to learning.